post or take other corrective actions. To increase transparency, we will ensure there is independent monitoring of every single sewage outlet, including emergency overflows, which are currently not fully monitored. We will require water companies to install real-time monitors so the public and regulators have full transparency on where sewage spills are happening within an hour of them happening. Companies will publish this data in a clear and accessible format, which will be independently scrutinised by the regulators and used as evidence in their investigations. And there will be a new statutory requirement for water companies to publish annual plans to set out the steps they are taking to address their pollution incidents to ensure they do not keep happening. This new bill is a significant step forwards in fixing our broken water system. It is an immediate down payment on the wider reform that's needed after years of failure and environmental damage. It holds polluting water companies to account after years where there has been no accountability. But we also face a much wider set of issues. Water companies need to attract the levels of private investment required to upgrade crumbling infrastructure and keep pace with population growth. Major infrastructure projects to increase water storage capacity and sewer upgrades must be delivered at speed. We need to better prepare for future impacts of climate change, such as flooding and droughts, which are already causing significant impacts to our farmers. We need to better serve customers and the environment at a local and regional scale with a catchment level approach to tackle pollution sources such as chemicals, agriculture, and road runoff. We need to reform the entire water system to resolve these very deep-rooted and complex problems, which brings me to stage 3 of our long-term plan for change. The government will carry out a full review to shape further legislation that will fundamentally transform how our entire water system works and clean up our rivers, lakes and seas for good. We will ensure the framework that underpins our water sector delivers long-term stability with clear, achievable targets that reflect the needs of customers and the environment at a catchment, regional and national scale, as well as enabling housing delivery and supporting the government's growth mission. We will invite views from a range of experts covering areas such as the environment, public health, consumers, investors, engineering, economics, as well as campaigners. And this will include a public consultation to test the proposals and bring in a diverse range of views. I will set out further details on this review later during the autumn. Meanwhile, PR24 will proceed as planned to bring in that much-needed investment. By strengthening regulation and enforcing it consistently, we will create the conditions needed in a well-regulated private sector model to attract the global investment required to rebuild our broken water infrastructure. A sector that has been associated with decline and cover-ups will become one of growth and opportunity. It will unlock the biggest ever investment in our water sector and the second biggest private sector investment into any part of the economy for the entirety of this Parliament. This will help to build 9 new reservoirs and multiple large-scale water transfer schemes, 8,000 kilometres of water mains pipes, and upgrade 2,500 storm overflows so they're fit for purpose. It will clean up our rivers, boost economic growth around the country by creating tens of thousands of jobs, and increase the resilience of our water supply that underpins every single home and every single business in the UK. This is the change that the country voted for. Greater investment to restore pride in our countryside, to ensure our landscapes remain places of beauty, attracting millions of visitors every year to support our rural economies, to provide opportunities for sports and recreation in clean waters, whether it's rowing on the Thames, going for a morning dip at the local bathing spot, or fishing in a chalk stream. It will protect wildlife and biodiversity-rich water habitats that in turn can help us tackle the ever-growing impacts of climate change. This is my approach because it is the most effective way to clean up our water. Nationalisation, which some have advocated, would cost billions of pounds and take years to unpick the current ownership model, leaving sewage pollution in the meantime to get worse and halt the much-needed investment. I am more interested in a model that works. The people represented in this room have the skills, ingenuity and determination to turn the sector around. The stronger regulation introduced this week sets the foundations for the investment we need and will ensure we deliver a better service for customers and for the environment. To generate sustained long-term change, we must also recognise the need to restore nature. This includes increasing tree planting and protecting habitats that store water, such as peatlands and wetlands, which act as a natural barrier to flooding and reduce storm surges. We will work with farmers to reduce agricultural runoff in our rivers and lakes, including progressing efforts to improve slurry storage and promote regenerative models of farming. We will pioneer solutions through agri-tech, such as using satellite data and AI to apply fertilisers more precisely, and in precision breeding, such as higher yielding crops that could reduce the need for fertilisers that run into our rivers. And we must all take individual responsibility for our own water use to reduce strain on the system. Data obtained by Water UK showed that every person in the UK uses an average of 152 litres of water a day, and 94% of us underestimate how much we use. We have a target to reduce the amount of water used per person by 20% by 2038, and we will help consumers make more efficient water choices to achieve this, including working towards a mandatory water efficiency label for products, and working with regulators and industry on the rollout of smart meters to enable faster leak detection and repairs. There's a memorial on the Victoria Embankment that commemorates Sir Joseph Bazalgette. It praises the man who put the Thames in chains, but this does not reflect what he did. Bazalgette freed the river so it could be used once more by the Londoners and the wildlife who relied on it. As we face a renewed crisis in our waterways today, we too need to free our rivers, lakes and seas from the pollution that is killing them. Our waterways should be a focus of national and local pride, but they've been left filthy by years of pollution and underinvestment, for which there has not been enough accountability. This government will reform the sector so we can invest in our waterways, boost economic growth and clean up our polluted rivers. This is a government of service focused on improving people's lives. I'm offering the water sector a reset and a new partnership to help us achieve that together. There's a lot of work to be done, and it won't be done overnight. My immediate focus is to make sure from now on that customers and the environment all can attract the investment that's needed. Looking further ahead, our review will deliver a radical long-term approach to reform the water sector and ensure we can sustain our communities and the environment in the decades to come. I want to thank everyone who's campaigned to bring this issue to the fore, and to those who work daily to protect our natural environment, the charities, the environmental NGOs, the national parks, DEFRA's own arm's-length bodies, and those who work in the water sector because they care about improving it. While I'm clear there's work to be done, I want to thank the water companies for working with me and signing up to my initial package of reforms. I know with the right approach, we will deliver the change this country wants to see. Some of my fondest memories as a child are camping under the stars at Scout Camp, rock pooling down in Cornwall, and paddling in the sea. This is our opportunity to make sure our children and their children have the chance to create those same wonderful memories, to splash about in our lakes, row on our rivers, or spot a kingfisher on a summer's day. This is our opportunity to clean up our water once and for all. Let's seize that opportunity together. Thank you.